So welcome guys, thank you very much for joining me on 3 PowerShell reports every Office 365 admin needs to have. SharePoint Online makes it easy for your users to collaborate with external people. Makes it easy for you to add an external user, they log in either with a PIN, with their Windows Micro, with the Live ID, and they have access to your documents, to your sites. It's way better than using Dropbox or any other method to share documents externally. And there's no built-in report in Office 365 for you guys as admins to see who has access to what site collection, who are the different external users that have access to my stuff. So that is really important. That is why I think this is important. This report is super important for each one of you to have. What modules are you going to use? How many of you have used PowerShell before? How many of you have never used PowerShell? You're going to need to start learning PowerShell. It's the admin way of the future. But you're here, so that's the first good step. For this one, we're only going to use the SharePoint Online module, the Microsoft provided one, not the PNP one. Let me go here and show it to you guys. So what do we do for this report to get all of our external users in the different site collections? First of all, I need to get all of my site collections. So I'm doing site collection equal get SPO site limit all. Really important that you put that limit all over there. By the way, guys, I know you love taking pictures of me, but I'll give you guys a link to download the scripts after if you want. Well, you can keep taking pictures of me. I'm not going to say no, huh? So feel free to, if you guys want to take pictures, whatever, no problem, but I'll give you guys a link to download all of the scripts, everything afterwards. So get SPO site limit all, this way you have all of them. Then we're going to look through each site collection. So for each site collection, from all of my site collections, I need to get my external users. Now, if you look at the official documentation, there's a PowerShell commandlet called get SPO external user. So you might think, that should be pretty easy, right, to get all of them. And when you look at a bunch of scripts online, there's a script on the tech community that has like 15,000 downloads. That is the worst report I've ever seen because there's a huge limitation on this commandlet. It can only return 50 results at a time. And most of the scripts that you download from the internet, and that's why you shouldn't just download and run without understanding, they don't loop through your users. They just put the size at 50 and you only get 50 external users. So if you're a big company, you work with a lot of people, you might think, yeah, it's okay, don't have any new users this week. Yeah, because you always get the same 50 people. So what do we have to do to get all of them? We actually have to do a for loop. What can I loop on? I know that I can get max 50 people at the same time. And let me actually run it because it takes quite a while to run. And I have a position. I have a position parameter here. So what I basically need to make it do is get me the first 50 from 0 to 50. After that, get me from 50 to 100. After that, from 100 to 150 and so on. So I have a for loop. I'm saying it for my position equals 0, in this case, variable called I. No maximum because we don't want to max out. We're going to stop when there's no more external users. Position plus 50. This way in my loop, as we go forward, each loop we try to get 50 more people. When it actually doesn't return anything, it gives back an error. So that's why we have a try and catch. So I have it here inside of a try. As long as it returns something, it will not error out. When it fails, it means that it has finished getting all of the external users for that site collection. I mean, right now I don't have anything in my catch. The only reason I have it is we don't want to see red. Red is not pretty on the screen. Well, it's pretty, but not when you do PowerShell. So you can add other write hosts in there, write transcript, things like that. But we're not going to do anything for this one. And at the end, you see, I'm only creating a single object here. So I'm getting the SPO external users, showing you everything, and I'm getting the display name, email address, accepted as, when created, invited by, and because I'm looping on that site, I'm also in the same row in my same object, I'm getting the URL of that site. Why am I doing that? Because then I'm going to save it into an Excel file. And so external users, the object that I had, export CSV, give it the path to the CSV file, no type information. So what does this look like when we actually do it? Let's wait a few seconds for it to open. I have a really quick Excel file with all of the information about my users. And the beautiful thing about Excel is that everybody from HR to security to probably this time every 5-year-old kid knows how to use Excel. And you can also filter. If you want to see, for example, let me go by email here. Let me filter. I want to see all of the sites that, let's pick somebody from here, Jeff Collins has access to. I can filter by username. Or if not, I can filter by site, so I can see all of the external users in that site collection. So what do you guys think? For a first one, is this pretty useful? Yeah. Pretty cool? I'll take that. I'll take that. Thank you. Invited by Vlad, yes. So I'm the guy. Something that you guys need to know. So that is the official way to do it, right? And the reason that you have Microsoft sessions and you have MVP sessions is because we tell you how something should work and how it actually works. So now let me tell you the, it's true, isn't it? I hope there's no Microsoft people in the front row because I'm going to get popcorn soon. But so there's a huge bug in the getSPO external user commandlet that all of the users that have been invited using the modern sharing option. So you know before it used to be like you needed a Microsoft account to log in. Now you just, you invite Vlad, Vlad goes to the link, he says, hey, I'll send you a code to your email to make sure that you have access to that email. Well, those users that sign in that way will not show up with the getSPO external user, which is the official way to do it. So for now, if when Microsoft fixes, we have to do it a different way. So what I have to do is, let me copy the URL really here, and I'll show it to you guys really quick. Oops, not delete, copy. Let me do getSPO user, URL, or site, paste. I'll put this up a bit bigger here. You'll see that all of the users that are invited, kind of the old way, they have the ext here. So it's the email address of the guest, #ext@globalmantics.org, which was my domain. All of the new school users that have the new modern invited way, they're actually URN, SPO guest, hashtag, and their email address. And all of those, if you use the official way, will not get actually returned with a getSPO external user commandlet. So even if you use that commandlet before for your reports, stop using it right away because it's not working anymore. So what do we have to do to go around that? Instead of using getSPO external user, and let me make my actual code here bigger, I will use getSPO user. I'm getting all of the users in my site collection, and I'm adding a filter. If the login name has that URN SPO guest inside, or it has that external user inside, then it means it's an external user. So instead of using the actual commandlet, I'm getting everything and I'm filtering by username after. This way I have all of the information. I'll be missing a bit of information such as accepted as, who invited them, because that's not in the actual user commandlet, but at least I'll know all of the external people that have access. So if I go into I just pre-run the report just because sometimes it takes long to run. If you only have a few sites, it's pretty fast. If not, it can be quite long. And you see here, if I would have run that second report, I see all of my external users here that also have the URN SPO guest, which I didn't see in the past report. So remember, even if a commandlet is out there for this one, don't use the official commandlet, use this one instead so you get the full results. If you guys want to follow up on it, there's actually a bug open on GitHub on the PowerShell module, so you guys can look there, see if there's any update. But for now, it's been 4 months and it hasn't been fixed, so I don't have any ETA on that. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next one. Or next one, we'll take it up a next level, Office 365 groups. Who here loves Office 365 groups from an IT admin perspective? Right? I mean, as users, I love them. As an admin, I'm like, give me more control, please. Like, I don't have access to see when it's the last time modified, who plays with it, I don't have any out-of-the-box reports, really. So what I'll do here, and I'll just start it, because again, some of them, depending on the Wi-Fi connection, take a long time to run. Usually in your day-to-day life, you run them on a scheduled task, so you don't really care. When you have about 200 people staring at the screen, even 2 minutes is a really long time. So I'll just show you guys what it looks like, the end result, so then we can compare the PowerShell script with the end result. So what I have here, and let me zoom in a bit. First of all, recently deleted groups. When somebody deletes a group in Office 365, you only have 30 days to restore it as a group. Even after 30 days, with Microsoft Backup, you're still going to be able to restore SharePoint independently, Planner independently, and all of that. But you cannot restore that whole group as a whole. And again, we don't get a notification when somebody deletes a group. So first thing I have there is all of the recently deleted groups, how long before they get permanently deleted. And I even took it to the next level, and I'll show you guys how to do it after. If it's under a certain number, and I'll maybe zoom in a bit here, it shows in red the number of days. This way it attracts attention to me as the admin of what is happening. Scrolling down a bit then, I have an all group. So this is all of my Office 365 groups. So I can see the name, the address, is it private, how many members, how many owners. And in this case, again, I added some conditional formatting. I don't want groups to only have one owner, because if there's only one owner, if that person leaves, the group becomes orphaned. So I put it in red as soon as there's one owner. I also use the unified audit log to actually see when is the last time that somebody added, viewed, downloaded a document in the shared documents library of that group. When is the last time that somebody visited the home page? When is the last time that somebody sent an email to that group? Because lifecycle management in 365 is more important than ever. It's not like before when we migrate from 2010 to 2013 to 2016, and every time we have a chance to do the cleanup. This time, hopefully 365 is your last migration. So you need to do that cleanup as you go. You cannot wait 5 years and then have 10 times as many sites and groups than people inside of the company, because it's going to be a huge project to do it. And also, and this is all PowerShell, I'll show you guys a script after. I can even search here, so I can search, for example, start searching training, it shows it to me. So all of that cool stuff, all using PowerShell. So now looking at the script. For this, I forgot to show you guys the business need and everything, but by judging how many hands were raised, I'm sure you guys know the business need of Office 365 reporting. But this module we're using Exchange Online, because to manage 365 groups, you need to have Exchange Online module. We're using the Azure AD v2 preview module, because that's the only module you can use to get the deleted group, that Office 365 group recycle bin. And I'm also using a PowerShell module called Enhanced HTML2, which is a module in the PowerShell gallery created by a PowerShell MVP called Don Jones that allows you to easily create those cool HTML files that I just showed you. You can create them without that module, but why would you do it if somebody made it easy for you? Why would you do it manually? So let's take a look at the PowerShell script, and then we're going to compare between the HTML report and the script so you guys see what I did. So first of all here, I'm getting some information for the title of the report. This doesn't matter. And then I'm creating a parameter, a custom parameter object, which is all of the things I will have, my display properties for that HTML. So I'm saying I want to show it as a table. I want it to have an H2, all of the groups. Then I can have different CSS classes. So this actual report connects to a CSS file that I created, where I had a class called even that is white and a class called odd that is a bit grayish. And again, those are my color choices. I'm an IT guy. Please don't judge my color choices. Choose whatever makes you feel happy. Then I have, okay, I want it to show up as a grid. Do I want to make it dynamic? Yes. And then all of the properties. So properties, I'm actually getting them from this function over here. So in this function, where I actually get the information about the groups, is I'm getting all the unified group. This is the commandlet to get all of the Office 365 groups. And I'm saying for each group inside my groups, search unified log. So first of all, I'm creating a variable last SP site access, and I'm saying search the unified log. If there's any action between today minus 90, so 3 months ago, and today, on the object group SharePoint site URL. So this way, has there been any action on the actual SharePoint site? The unified audit log is where you have the information about everything that happens in your tenant. So we leverage that. Then I have a quick if statement. If there's nothing returned, so there's no action, I create it, I'm saying it's 90 days plus. If there's any action, I just format the date of the last action. And I'm doing the same thing for the document library, same thing for the mailbox, using get mailbox folder statistics to get it. And I'm not gonna go in detail because we have only 20 minutes. I'd rather show you guys the high level, and then you guys, when you download the scripts, you can actually look at all of those details. And then I'm creating my property saying that address is group.primary SMTP address. Group is my Office 365 group object. Primary SMTP address is just the name of the actual property. For members, I have to use get unified group links of the group alias, link type members, and actually measuring the count, so I get the count of members and all of that. And after that, I create a PS object called, custom PowerShell object called props here, which I'm returning in the function here. So I'm doing get all of Office 365 group, saving it in this variable, and using the convert to enhanced HTML and the parameters above. So I have a function, get all of the information, I give it the properties of the HTML, how do you want the formatting to look and everything, and convert it to an HTML fragment. So that will give you a div. In HTML terms, that gives you a div. And this is where you can actually have in the properties here, add some CSS. So I'm saying, hey, if members is less than 1, give me the class red on that cell. So class red is a class for my custom CSS file, and that's how you add it. Doing the same thing for the expired group, so table, giving the classes, days left to restore. I have a custom function here, get Azure ADMS deleted group, which is the way to get the recycle bin, return the information, and at the end, I'm creating a convert to enhanced HTML, so I'm creating my actual file. The HTML fragment, so the 2 different divs that I created, the link to my CSS file, right now it's local. As you grow it, if you have many of them that use the CSS, you might want to put it somewhere on a shared drive, on a site somewhere, so you always reference that same CSS file. Give it the pre-content, which is Office 365 group report for tenant name on the date, and save it in the groups.html. So this is the one that it just created. Wrong folder. This is the one that it just created today, which you see, it's a bit different than the one I have as my backup in case it doesn't run fast enough. But you see the data actually shows up with the latest information. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool? Awesome. One last one. The last one, the profile completeness report. There's more and more information that depends on the Office 365 user profile. Your flow approvals that go to your manager. Your picture being there looks a lot better in 365. All of the org charts don't work if you don't have that manager in there. Your people directory, if people don't have a department, you're not gonna be able to find them. So it's really important to make sure that profile is up to date. So we're gonna use the Exchange, Azure AD, PNP PowerShell, and Enhanced HTML. So I'll go to it, I'll run it right away, but I'll show you the result as we go. I think we're only have a few minutes left. So the final report, I'll show you guys the PowerShell after again. All of my users with no picture. All of my users that do not have a manager. And then a highlight of all of the users inside my company. So I can say, here are all of the users, here's the first name, family name, display, job title, cell phone, city, everything. And if it's blank, if it doesn't have anything inside, I call it orange. I don't know what you guys want to call this color, but it's orange? Again, I'm awful with colors. I have an orange color in the cell. So this way it attracts the attention that is empty. After that, and how many SharePoint people do I have here? A few of you. If you don't know about SharePoint, the Azure AD doesn't sync all of the properties to the SharePoint profile, which is a different profile inside of 365. It has extra properties, and unfortunately, some of them, like the mobile phone, even if it's in Azure AD, doesn't get synced to SharePoint, which is not fun. So I was going to use another term, but it's really not fun. So I also get the information in SharePoint specific stuff, like the About Me, mobile phone, past projects, skills, birthday, and I can quickly see the ones that are missing information. And because it's PowerShell right now, I only have it as a report. But you could actually, as you look through those people, you could send them a nice email to them like, hey, by the way, your profile is not complete. Go to this page to actually complete it. So it doesn't have to be only a report. You could use the same script and add some action, spam them until they actually fill up those properties. So if we look at the PowerShell script, so first of all, I'm getting all of that. I'm creating my parameters, and I know I'm going a bit fast on it, but I only have 20 minutes, so I can't teach you guys the whole theory of HTML, but I'm creating my properties. I'll say, okay, H2 is users with no picture, the username, the display name, get picture information, which goes to my function here, where for each user in all of the users, get user photo is a PowerShell commandlet in the Exchange module. If it returns something, it means that user has a photo. If it doesn't, it means that user doesn't. If it doesn't, I'm simply adding it to a custom object. For the manager, same thing. Get Azure AD user manager. If nothing is returned, I add it to my custom object. If it's returned something, then it has a manager. And for SharePoint, I'm simply using the PNP. So the commandlet is get PNP user profile property, and then I can view all of the different properties in the SharePoint profile. And by using the properties here, let's go here, I'm saying, okay, if given name or if property name is null, apply the CSS class red cell to that actual cell. So this way, when I do my report, it shows up nicely and it has that specific color. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool for a report? Yeah. Yes? Awesome. Great, so I think we're almost out of time. If you guys want to download them, it's at github.com/vladkatrinescu, which I know is really easy to spell. I'm aware of that. But you guys can download the slides from the Microsoft site after, so you can just click on it and get them. If you guys are new to PowerShell, you want to learn more about Office 365 PowerShell in general, I have a book that is actually sold out at a bookstore, but you can get it from Apress or from Amazon. Apress has like a bigger sale than here, by the way, so buy it from there. So if you guys want to learn more, you can check out there. And if you have any questions, I need to clean up for the next speaker, but I'll be around here, so feel free to come ask any questions. Thank you guys very much.